What is up, members of my collector corps? It is I, Super Mario Zilla, or you could call me Vinny, and today we will be taking a look at the S.H.Figuarts Dragon Ball GT Kid Goku. Revealed as a complete surprise because, let's be honest, fans expected the only GT figures to be Goku and Vegeta Super Saiyan 4 forms. But boy howdy, we were wrong, and I'm so happy to say that. Not a big fan of GT, but I am a fan of some of the designs of the characters. Goku here would also be a smaller figure than the Dragon Ball original Goku, which fans were really excited for, since the issue with that line was that the smaller characters were too big. So that's awesome. Goku would also clock in at an MSRP of $55, which sounds like a lot for such a small figure, but the package itself makes up for it, mostly. When Goku released, collectors across the board commented on how great the figure was. A lot of collectors were pleased with this release, and so am I. I'm sorry for the spoiler, but I wanted to be honest, I love this figure. Is it worth the purchase? Let's not waste any more time and see if this figure is worthy of a spot on your Dragon Ball GT shelf. For being quite a short figure, Goku is packing a lot of detail. Not a lot of paint detail, but a lot of sculpt detail. The colors though are vibrant, I'll give it that. I love the blue clothing and it contrasts nicely with the orangish yellow pants. Pretty cool. Goku's hair sculpt is well done. I love all the detail it's packing. It's well done. I love it. All the grooves worked in and the shape of it is well done. Goku's face is also killer. Looks like he hopped right out of the TV screen. The figure also has a soft sculpt with the muscle definition, which makes sense since he is a kid, so don't expect them to be buff. The clothes feature some wrinkle details as well. It's all been worked in nicely. I do wish shading was added to make the details pop more though, because as it is, he does look pretty plain. Not to be that guy again, I know I've been saying that a lot with all these Dragon Ball figures, but it's true in some cases. Without paint shading on some of these figures, it looks plain and it looks lazy at worst. Not a big deal, but still, I just wish figures had a bit of extra effort put into them. I know I sound like a broken record with that, but the inconsistency really does irk me sometimes. Again, sculpt work is fantastic. I love it, but the paint doesn't exactly complement the sculpt. Again, that extra effort was all that was needed. Overall, I think Goku looks pretty good, but definitely could have looked more lively in the paint department. But as it is, it's not bad, and I still give the sculpt and colors props. Despite being a small guy, Goku is packing quite a bit of articulation. So let's see what he's got. Head is on a ball peg, and the neck is also on a ball peg, so he can look this high up, and can look pretty much all the way down. Can look side to side, and we have plenty of lean. Arms are on ball joints. They can extend outward. There's some butterfly joint movement in there. Elbows are on single hinges, can move just a little bit more than 90 degrees, and it also acts as your bicep swivel. Fists on ball hinges. We have a ball joint here in the waist, so he can crunch forward, not very far at all, backward. That is a pretty good backward movement, and we have plenty of lean, and can rotate. Legs, he can kick forward just about this much and can kick backward, not very far at all. In terms of splits, he can just about do the splits. Thighs are on a bit of a swivel. Knees are on a single hinge, can move just a little bit more than 90 degrees. And ankles are on swivel hinges, can kick backward just about this much, can kick forward just about this much, and plenty of ankle rocker. And toes on a hinge. So Goku is packing quite a bit of articulation for such a small figure. It's a lot more posability than even I was expecting. And since this is smaller than Dragon Ball Kid Goku, yeah, it's just really impressive how much articulation they actually worked into this figure. Like, that's actually really cool. That's really cool. So,
Yeah, overall, I'm pleased with how articulation turned out.
Goku comes with plenty of accessories here. He pretty much has his essentials, which for his price point, I think is a good amount of stuff. Let's see what he's got. First, he has 2 hair sculpts, the default hair sculpt and a more dynamic blowing hair sculpt. Both look awesome and the sculpts are top notch. I'll show you what all the faces look like on these hair pieces. First, the neutral stern face. Next, his smiling face. Next is an angry teeth gritted face. And a yelling screaming face. Next up are the hands. He has 2 fist hands, 2 blast effect open hands, 2 martial arts fighting stance hands, another pair of fighting stance hands, and 2 Kamehameha hands, and 2 more Kamehameha hands for the effect piece. There's 4 pegs of light that connect to the ball on the ball joint sockets. This is so you can adjust them with no problem. So that's awesome. They connect easily, but don't force them, don't put pressure on them. You're asking for trouble if you do that. Then you use one of the peg hands for the effect piece, and there you go. Goku can use his Kamehameha. Finally, a different bottom gi piece to make it look like it's blowing in the wind, to make Goku look more dynamic. Just need to pop off Goku's top half and set up the gi pieces like I'm showing you here. And there you go. Goku has a more dynamic gi. I love the accessories Goku comes with, but there's one problem. Where's the tail? Oh, sorry, you need to pre-order Trunks for the tail. I hate DLC accessories! Sorry, but that really irks me. So get Trunks if you want the tail, and good luck trying to find the tail separate. Regardless, I do get a kick out of the accessories. They add a lot of fun factor to the figure, especially the effect piece, and the hair sculpts add to it as well. Pretty cool. Here's a size comparison with other figures you may or may not own. Goku looks awesome with everyone. He's small, he's supposed to be. I don't think he's quite size accurate, but they did what they could with the size given. Any smaller, this would have been a Figuarts 0 instead. So getting Goku on display should be no problem. This figure is awesome. I was not expecting the figure to be this good, and I'm so happy to be wrong. This really turned out nice. The only improvement I would give him would be the paint, but even then, that doesn't mean he looks bad. He looks great, and his articulation is really good for something this small, so he's a joy to have in the collection. I can absolutely recommend him to any fan of Dragon Ball GT or just Dragon Ball in general. He'll make a fine addition to your collection, so be sure to get this now before it's too late. Get him now or regret it later. I'll give the figure an 8.5 out of 10. He's an awesome piece, and I fell in love with him after opening him. Bandai did a great job with the figure, no doubt. Get this figure, and if you're a fan of Dragon Ball GT, you'll love the figure like I do.